Welcome to the Ed Factor, Northern Ireland's only to date Maiden fan podcast. This is Andy and I'm Chris, and this is episode number 3.
And today we are going to go back to where it all began.
Where it all began. Oh my God. We are both 41 at the minute, and we're going back 41 years. So
this album was
I was born, he wasn't.
Yeah, this is just a couple of months before I was born. So we're having a look at the debut album today. We're going to do a deep dive in the debut album. And
the eponymous Iron
Maiden. Classic. Every Maiden album's a classic, but released on the 14th of April 1980.
I think I was just about able to set up. Don't know. Possibly. I possibly might have been able to set up on my own and do a wee headbang. Not quite foot on the monitor yet, but
probably not.
You know, it was a work in progress. So
Not
Iron Maiden were formed. Iron Maiden were formed Christmas Day 75 in Steve Harris's Nan's front room. And after various lineups, various ideas, we have this awesome.
This is what it comes. You'll get all the lineup changes and all. They go through that in the early days documentary, which is brilliant for that.
Mick Wall's book's also very, very good as well.
Under
if you
the
get your
Hills.
hands in it.
I
don't think it's in print at the minute. I'm not too sure, but
it's a great book,
definitely
actually.
worth a read. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But it shows kind of how difficult it was for Steve to get the band up and going.
Well, if you think about it, we do have to mention very, very quickly Nwabum, the new wave of British heavy metal, and obviously late 70s. You're talking about an absolute maelstrom of different things: disco, punk, classic rock, stadium rock, AOR, MOR, and then obviously
a lot of subgenres and stuff there, isn't there?
And obviously like ska and that sort of thing as well. And then we have the the offspring of Led Zeppelin fans and Deep Purple fans and Black Sabbath fans.
The new wave of British
The new
heavy
wave
metal.
comes. And obviously there was Iron Maiden, there was other bands, Saxon, Diamond Head, but Maiden obviously rose above. But at this time they were just another band.
They were just another band from the East End of London, and
so a couple of false starts with the production, from what I believe. I think Andy Scott was the producer for a while, and Andy Scott I think was the guitar player in the Suite. So it was, I definitely, I think so. I do think so, and he was quite a big producer, sort of running around London in those days. But I'm pretty sure it just whenever I was doing a wee bit of research for this, I read that and I thought that, and I didn't go any further. So correct me if I'm wrong, but Andy Scott I think was a guitar player in the Suite.
Okay, cool. That'd be interesting.
You ever listen to the Suite? We're not talking about the Suite. We're talking about Iron Maiden, but worth a listen. Some of their songs. Proto metal, definitely.
Bit glam, isn't it?
Oh,
glam,
glam. You gotta have a bit of glam in your life, but some of the tunes are heavy. Really.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
really.
Okay.
Guitar, Fox in the Run, which is rare sounding to you probably, but the riff in it is heavy. Really. Anyway, right.
Well,
I could do a podcast about that myself, but I'm not going to do here.
But we're not talking about that today.
So recorded in Kingsway Studios, London. Okay, lineup. First classic lineup. Well, okay, hold on, time out.
Not sure. I call it the first classic lineup. Well, it's the first lineup of the band.
We obviously are besmirching our guitar hero Smithy, but Dennis Stratton did sterling work on the album.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. So the lineup is Di'Anno, Harris, Murray, Dennis Stratton, and Clive Burr. And I think an honourable mention goes to Doug Sampson, who was the drummer just before this. So he drummed on the Soundhouse tapes and did a lot of the groundwork. But then he was finding it difficult physically, I think. Probably.
Well, if you're in a rhythm section with Bomber Aris, you're in trouble. Like if you can't keep up.
And it was actually it's the same thing ends up happening to Clive Burr.
Yeah,
you know.
well, that's it.
But
he is a human, organic locomotive of a man. So he is.
But I think if you listen to the Soundhouse tapes, I know the production isn't as good as the album, but if you listen to the drumming on that, I'm not being disrespectful to Doug. It still sounds good, but you listen to Clive. I think
Clive's a great swing of a drummer.
Great feel.
He does have.
He adds something to the band.
He does. He does. That's
I
one thing. In this and on the 3 albums that he did drum on, there is a swing to it, and I really do. I dig that. It's really, really good. Album is 40 minutes long, so it's perfect. You're in your commute. You haven't listened to it in a while. You're in the car. You're on your bike. You're on a bus. You're on the train. You're walking. You're running. Stick it on because it is excellent. I hadn't actually listened to it
in a long time.
A couple of 3 years, easy. And I put it on, and I thought, wow, this is excellent. It really has kind of, obviously, latterly, I just listened to obviously episode 1. If you want to watch it, you'll find out what my favorite Maiden album is. And I listen to it a lot, and I do listen to quite a lot of the newer stuff, as I call the sort of third age stuff. But this is a statement. That's what I have to say.
It's a brilliant album.
Real statement from the first chord to the last.
And the first chord, we'll go through the track listing just here. Yep. So, kicks off with Prowler.
Yep, brilliant.
Which is
I'm singing it in my head.
Steve Harris
singing the riff in my head.
Yeah,
that's very
great tune.
Brilliant tune.
Cool riff.
Last time I think I heard that was RDS early days tour. It was awesome.
Yeah. Nice bit of kind of
RDS in Dublin, by the
way. By Smiley, by Dave Murray. Yeah, I think it's a cool tune. Odd kind of lyrics.
Well, you wouldn't get away with them now. That's all I'm going to say. But then time is funny, isn't it? Like,
yeah. And one of the odd things about it is it sounds to me like Di'Anno lyrics, but it's not. It's written by Steve Harris.
Yeah.
You know, but Di'Anno delivers them really well.
Yeah.
Kind of, cheeky cockney
chappy
type thing.
I would say there's some albums in this, which is kind of what I said about Andy Scott earlier on. There's a few tracks in this which are like knees up heavy metal, like you know, it's like there's definitely, and don't shoot me in the comments, but there's definitely some minor glam influence in this album. I definitely think so.
You think so?
Yeah, maybe in the album prep or production, definitely.
Well, the production is something...
Running Free, the it's
well, that I can see what you're talking about, having a bit of a glam beat influence.
Listen, I don't make any apology for reading too much into it because we're fans, but yeah, I do think there's a bit of a but again, it's Clive Burr swing too, I have to say, But track 2 then, Remember Tomorrow.
Well, sorry, you mentioned there the production.
When I called up here by the professor.
I think that's an important kind of thing because it's produced by Will Malone, who I think arranged the strings on some Massive Attack tracks and stuff like that. Maybe even Bittersweet Symphony,
right?
Which I didn't realize, but
20 years later, it was 97. It was, yeah.
But Steve Harris never liked the production of this. It's kind of well documented.
I would say I don't particularly like it either.
I don't particularly like it.
Guitars are thin.
Guitars are thin. It sounds kind of raw. It sounds
it's nearly like a punky sort of. And I wouldn't say there was DIY. Not like this bloody podcast DIY, but anyway.
I think Steve Harris says they were pretty much just left to themselves, with the engineer, and he really wasn't that interested.
Yeah.
He just sat reading the newspaper, smoking.
You could imagine reading the Sun and the 20 Embassy on the console.
Yeah, and it does perhaps let the album down. However, I think some people have said that they like the raw kind of sound.
We have a very good friend, shout out Anto, who loves these albums, these Di'Anno albums.
Yeah, he really loves this album, and Malcolm Dome thinks that this and Killers are still the best things that the band have ever done.
Yeah, imagine being alive, of a pub going age in 1980 and seeing these guys. like the way we would see Blaze Bayley now, like as close to
being
you and
close
me
up
as that
to them
as
in
the recorder
you know,
there.
the small clubs or whatever. Yeah,
it would be intense, be fantastic.
It must
but
have been cool.
The songs.
So we've got
how many songs are still played live? I think that's a question you have to ask yourself. Out of that album, you go see Maiden tomorrow, right? You're definitely gonna hear the last track, but you know there's a good chance you might hear.
Well, we'll go through them.
We'll go getting excited.
Getting ahead of himself. So we've got Prowler kicking the album off. Great track, great opener, straight to the point. Then we've got Remember Tomorrow.
Yep.
Love this song.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Great bit of light and shade.
Yep.
I think.
It's kind of Maiden in a. It's a mission statement.
Yeah, I think it's one of the songs that on this album shows a little leaning towards the prog stuff that Maiden will go into. Just that, as I say, light and shade and the soft and heavy, and there's dynamics there that maybe some of the other tracks don't have, but Remember Tomorrow is really, really strong. And I think Di'Anno's vocals are brilliant on this.
The boy can sing.
Oh, he's class.
Yeah,
he's class.
He really can, and it's in the later moments that where you really do hear the power.
Yeah.
In his voice.
I think that's one of the strongest.
I love that song actually.
Yeah.
I really do love it.
I love it as well. Then we've got Running Free, which
first
is the first single.
First time I ever heard that. Was that no, that wasn't the
so Running Free is
controversial.
No,
it wasn't.
No. Running Free is the first single on the album. It was released on the 8th of February.
10 days before I was born.
There you are.
There That's mad.
And the cover of it, the Eddie is it's like a street yellow glow.
Oh,
Eddie's in the background.
That's right.
But you can't really see his face.
Yeah.
So it comes out before the album, and then the album's the reveal type thing. Running Free was a track that they've played loads of times live. They used to play it, and
by God,
it was on Live After Death and everything.
It's a swinger.
It does.
And they played it live on Top of the Pops.
Yes.
If you want to YouTube that performance, it is. The guy introducing it, don't think he really knows what to be doing.
He has no idea.
Who's coming like.
No. But
it's class.
No one really played live. I think they were the first band since Who.
Who played live. And then Top of the Pops was a massive TV show whenever in the UK, whenever we were young and whenever our parents were young, actually. It sort of stopped in the early noughties, but
so to be on it and playing live
was the biggest thing. You hadn't made it till you were on Top of the Pops.
That was it. So yeah, Maiden rocked it and played live, which is a ballsy thing to do.
I remember Smiley just rocking the Kossoff Strat, just looks awesome.
But yeah, I like Running Free. Good track.
Yeah.
Next track is beyond any question, for me, the best track on the album. It's progressive. It's fast.
It was used in a Lucas Aid advert.
It was used in a Lucas Aid advert here. It is, of course, Phantom of the Opera.
It's incredible.
And for me, this song just is everything that Maiden. It's twin leads. It's so fast.
Yeah.
And I can see why this is the kind of song that influences, Dave Mustaine. To, go and really set that guitar sound for Metallica and Hetfield. I know Slash has said that this and Killers were influences on him. Kerry King has said that this album and Killers as well, the speed that stuff was being played at was an influence on him. So that Phantom of the Opera influenced thrash. That's
how as a first side of an LP, right? So Prowler, Remember Tomorrow, Running Free, Phantom of the Opera. If you were beamed down onto from Mars, and you were wearing an Iron Maiden t-shirt, and somebody asked you, "What is Iron Maiden?" Or one of my kids come to me and said, what is Iron Maiden? You just play those first 4 songs.
Yeah,
that would be pretty much it. It has everything. It is Phantom of the Opera in particular. I know it's your favorite song. whenever you were younger, you used to do a really nifty version of it.
Yeah.
Back in the old days with one of our friends from
friends,
the past.
Yeah, used to play on guitar.
Yeah.
I just think it's one of the
fabulous.
Iron Maiden songs.
Yeah.
It is everything that the band do. And it's not just that it's fast and it's, you know, it really, really rocks. It's great vocal line. But then there's a melodic bit.
There is.
There's time changes.
Yep.
There is twin
yep.
leads.
Yep.
There's soft solos. There's ripping solos.
Yeah.
It just has it all.
Yeah.
For me.
You could listen to any classic metal album for the next 10 years after, say, Metallica, Slayer, anything like that, and you would hear some sort of influence there. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's there. And it's the longest song in this album at 7 minutes 20. So it's this album's epic.
Yeah.
Really. And for me, it should have closed the album, but in the fine Maiden tradition of sticking an epic at the end of the album, but they hadn't figured this out yet. So yeah, class song though.
Side next 2 then, flipping over the vinyl.
Yep, flipping over the vinyl or the cassette.
Love this song.
Transylvania.
I do.
Love it as well. Yeah. Instrumental.
It's an instrumental. You know, not too many of them latterly, but you know, some cracking ones. Big Aura. I think I lost her words.
Yeah. Genghis Khan.
Yeah. But this again, as I say, you know, this is a mission statement. Every track on this album is part of Maiden's mission statement. And for, you know, Steve Harris's writing credits on 7 of 8 of the tracks, it's his baby, you know, really.
Yeah.
And
it is.
You know, he is the governor of Maiden. He is the boss, you know.
It's his band.
It's his band.
You can see that clearly.
And you can see that now. And 41 years later, you can see
it's still his band.
There's still DNA from this played now in, you know, the Caveman's mix of the copies in the vault at the minute as we speak of Senjutsu. But, you know, there will be direct correlation somewhere in amongst these tracks. Really, and I encourage you, listen to it if you haven't listened to it in a long time, because it really did blow me away. It's so weird.
It's so good. Yeah. Transylvania is really powerful.
I love it. Yeah.
The thing that gets me is
Maiden on toast.
Maiden on toast. Yeah. It's the speed of the picking. It's really, really fast picking work.
There's some fireworks coming out of those guitars.
Yeah.
Fireworks.
It's brilliant.
It is unreal. And then nearly like the yin to the yang. Strange World.
Strange World. Yeah. I like Strange World, but I think it's the weakest track on the album for me. I like it.
Okay. Yeah.
It's kind of, for me, it doesn't quite go anywhere. There's some really nice solos in there, but I think it just lacks it's calm the whole way through, which is something that Maiden don't usually do.
Yeah.
And this is one of the only times I can think of them actually doing that.
I think if you were a 1980s, you know, metaler, tracks 1 to 5, you're at Neil Kay's disco, headbanging with your cardboard guitar. Track 6, you pulled.
Very true. It may just give the album a bit of balance.
Yeah, you can put it on. You can say to your lady friend or male friend, "What's this? Iron Maiden." And you say, "Oh, put this on." Right.
What a strange world.
Break out a couple of cans of Roddles. There you go.
But I like it. It's a good tune. But
it's good. I would never use the word filler, but you know, it's not a filler track because obviously it's been crafted. There's a lot of thought in it, but you know, going forward, we don't hear too many more like it.
No. For me, the nice solo, but that aside, didn't do much for me. Charlotte the Harlot, then track number 7.
The most famous streetwalker ever.
Yep.
I think this is the first of 4 tracks.
First of 4 tracks through the career.
The career of Maiden.
Would write. And this one is written by Mr. Dave Murray.
So Dave, we don't know. We don't want to cast aspersions, but what have you been at, David? Huh?
Well, let's not go on that.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool song though.
I like it, yeah.
Brilliant song.
Again, it's niche up heavy metal.
Yeah.
So it is.
And there's a wee chord progression in there, the intro. I think they kind of touched upon that in The Wicker Man as well. Just that little pre-chorus bit in The Wicker Man. That's that little rundown. Just lean on it a wee bit. And that was the time to do it, you know, go back to just something a wee bit out of the
Imagine having a legacy that you could do that with.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
How cool.
Rocks. Charlotte the Harlot just rocks. And some great riffs. And Diano is brilliant on this track, I think.
You know, the percussive nature of the lyrics as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's there and it's in your brain. You're singing it as soon as it's over. It's like
it's really punchy.
Murders in the Rue Morgue.
Really punchy.
You know,
and
you're
percussive vocals.
It's percussive vocals that do. You know, you couldn't say Maiden have a lead drummer, but sometimes they do.
Yeah.
Or a lead bass player, but that is one of the things musically. If you're looking at it, it's amazing.
It's their way of pummeling you. Yeah.
They pummel your medulla oblongata.
So,
my medulla has been pummeled by this album all week. It's fantastic.
Brilliant album.
And I love it.
Then the closing tune.
Everybody's favourite track. You know, whenever you see them live, you know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So you do. So Iron Maiden's going to get you no matter how far.
Yeah. We know that Eddie's going to appear when they play that track. And it's only 3.5 minutes, but...
it's 3.5 fantastic minutes.
It's a cool riff, and I also love the wee drum breakdown and the run,
yes,
the run
you
up
hear,
that they do, the harmony there.
Yeah, and it's really... It's one of the few times on the album that you hear how good Steve is as a bass player.
Mm-hmm.
In that, you know, the drums and the bass are tight. You know, and they run together. That percussive nature again. I think it's a lot to do with Iron Maiden, how he actually plays the bass.
Yeah.
Fingerstyle.
Totally.
You know,
totally. It's the gallop. It's the
and
feel of the band.
Know, I'm not a bass player, but if you try to imitate him, like I've tried to do on the intro track of this podcast, it's impossible.
It's impossible.
You know, your hands are like this, like an octopus.
Don't know how he does it. But it's a classic. It's a classic track. The only track that's for me missing on this is Sanctuary, which is the other single from this era. It comes out then in May. Is that? Mm-hmm. So after the month after the album, but it wasn't on the album. It was on the,
and that's the controversial single cover.
That's the cover with Eddie having attacked or assaulted the then British Prime Minister
Mrs. Margaret Thatcher.
Yes.
And a weird tangent.
Mm-hmm.
About 20 years ago, I was working in Holland.
Mm-hmm.
Hello to any Dutch viewers. And I had an Iron Maiden fan club t-shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the guys that run the factory I was working in said, "Yeah, Iron Maiden, is that your Prime Minister?" And I was like, "He means the Iron Lady." And I was like, "No,
not anymore."
But you know, at least there's a connection there of some sort.
Cool. It was a controversial cover, a brilliant piece of art by Derek Riggs again.
I talked to you about the art in a wee minute, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's all I was going to say.
Yeah, you know? It would be my least favourite Riggs cover.
Really?
Yeah,
I think it's.
To me,
it's brilliant.
To me, that is classic Eddie. You know, the face is slightly different.
Yeah, but the yes.
Don't get me wrong. I couldn't do it. I couldn't draw it. But you know, it's not it's obviously Eddie. It's brilliant, and they obviously the mask. The guy coming out with the mask on and that. You've seen photographs, I'm sure.
Well, what I liked about those Running Free, then the first, we haven't talked about the album cover of...
Oh, that's what I mean. I mean the album cover.
Sorry, I was talking
the
about...
album cover, sorry.
I was talking about the Sanctuary
cover. Oh, sorry, no.
Sorry.
I went off on a tangent there, as I will be wanted to do.
Yes, right. Yeah. So... I get what you mean. So
it's not Eddie as I know him, or I would draw him on as I would draw him on a school maths textbook or something when I was a kid.
Yeah, we should probably talk about the origins of the album cover.
Yeah. So, over to you.
It's on the
Professor.
on the early days thing and in the book and stuff as well. So I think Derek Riggs brought a portfolio to Rod Smallwood to look through cover designs, and I think Rod Smallwood said it was a load of sci-fi stuff. Totally inappropriate, not at all what they were looking for. But in the middle of it all, there was this painting, and it was what became the album cover, the debut album cover of Eddie, and he was like, wow, what's this? This is brilliant. That's what we want. So Derek Riggs said it was inspired by, it's from a photograph of a skull, a perhaps burnt skull from the Vietnam War.
Wow, okay.
And
deep.
Although the photo was supposed to be of American soldiers, he believes it was actually a
Vietnamese soldier, a person?
Soldier, after, was it a napalm attack or something
My
like that?
goodness.
I'm not sure. I can't quite remember, but I'm pretty sure that's what Derek Riggs said. So Eddie he drew this kind of punky looking kind of figure, and then once they went, yeah, that's it, we want that as an album cover, then I believe the other covers were then drawn to give consistency. So he then went and did the Running Free one, where, as I said, where you can't really see Eddie's face. Yeah. He's just in the background of the street, someone running away from him. And then the Sanctuary cover, where Eddie is leering over having stabbed Margaret Thatcher. The thing I like about those kind of pieces of art is the yellow streetlights.
Yeah.
Gives this kind of sinister glow.
Inner city
vibe off the time. And it's
there's a lot of unrest in all over the UK at this time, right enough, wasn't there? Yeah.
But it ties them all together. Yeah. And that's what gives you an idea of a world.
Yeah.
It all seems like the same place. They all seem
strange world.
A strange world. They seem like scenes from the same movie. Scenes from the same, which becomes their thing. So yeah. But it's the first Eddie is not quite the Eddie.
No, he's not the one we all grew to know and love or wear or buy or draw.
He evolves from this point.
Yeah.
But it is the first Eddie, and I know the wall there and the lamppost and all is, I don't think it's maybe there anymore, but yeah, if you check out, there's a good podcast with, is it Steve Loopy Newhouse, who was Maiden's first roadie, I believe. He was the Killer Crew, I think, before there was anyone else involved. Helping them out with gear in their very, very early gigs. And he's on a podcast with a Australian chap called Satellite 664. And it's really worth checking out, because he's got loads of cool stories, having been with the band for years and years. And he'll say about stuff like that. So anyway,
that's Iron Maiden.
That is Iron Maiden.
Now,
but why wasn't Sanctuary on the album?
I don't know.
I don't know. For me, it should have been.
I don't know. But what I want to know is, we're going to do this each time, and I am very aware that we are massive Maiden fans and have been for many, many, many decades.
This is true.
Give me a mark out of 10 for that album.
Okay, so
I'll go first next time.
Right, you want me to go first?
Yeah, I want you to go first.
Okay. I am giving this a 7.5.
Oh, right, okay.
And the reason I give it a 7.5 is great album. 7.5 is a good mark, a high mark, but I think the production does let it down.
Yeah.
Personally, I also think Strange World doesn't quite do it for me.
Sanctuary should have been on instead.
Sanctuary should have been on it.
Sanctuary was on instead. I probably would have put it up to 8. Higher, maybe higher.
So that's my mark, 7.5.
Well, I was going to give it a 7.
Okay.
So it was, because I'm very aware that I would be very kind in my marking. So I was thinking to myself, it's this album, a one line review, Maiden's mission statement. Great tracks, but the production does let it down considerably.
Yep.
And can't fault the guitar work, can't fault the drumming. Amazingly, Diano was a great singer. That's all I'm going to say. This really brings his voice out, and in a way that I kind of time and obviously the blunt force trauma that is Bruce Dickinson, has through no fault of his own, but you know, a lot of people, he's Maiden singer, but you know, Di'Anno is more than a punky shouter, you know.
Oh, he's more than a punky shouter.
But he can sing.
He can. Oh, he can. He can sing.
He can
There's
wail.
no doubt
You
about
know,
that.
he can.
I think there was great.
Keep up. You know, he
great
looked
character in
the
the voice.
part as well.
He looked the part.
You know, he's a lot bigger than the rest of them. You know, it's like it was like, you know, Aragorn and a few hobbits knocking about. No disrespect to anybody in Maiden.
in a short band.
As am I.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I think there's great character in his voice. He's got good range, and it really worked for them.
Yeah,
it really worked.
I would say, as opposed, they don't like the punk label that they would have maybe been associated, not lumped in with. Like, my goodness, it's not like punk at all. But you know, looking at Di'Anno.
You're saying that they didn't like the punk. Yeah, Steve hates that.
Yeah, but
Paul Di'Anno, almost to wind the rest of them up, kind of likes to ham on that a little bit. I think, and I think Steve said he only went and got his hair cut when he realised how much it pissed me off when people said, you know, you're a bit punky. That was Paul. You know?
Yeah, listen, you can straddle two genres like, geez, so everybody does it now. But,
yeah,
you know what I mean.
One of the main reviews of the time said it was this is a safety pin through, you know, spandex or something like that. You know, it's two worlds colliding. But yeah, Steve was a songwriter and he didn't see it that way. Maybe the production gives it more of that edge rather than the music.
Especially, you know, when Martin Birch gets involved, it's night and day.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
It is. So 7.5, and
I give it a 7.
A 7.
Yeah, go 7.
There we go. So, guys,
that's a recommendation.
Yeah.
Definitely, that has to be, if you're a Maiden fan, that has to be part of your collection.
And if you already have it, which I'm sure you maybe do, feel free to let us know what's your score out of 10.
And your favourite tracks, maybe.
And your favourite tracks. Mine's Phantom of the Opera, yours
I'm going to keep my powder dry on this one. I'm going to say my favourite track on that album is Running Free, actually.
Running Free?
Yeah.
Right.
Transylvania's Maiden on Toast, but Running Free, and I'll tell you for why, because the first time I ever heard, I'll tell you for why. It was also Scott Stein or something like that. But Running Free.
He will tell us why that means.
Running Free. Is it live?
Live After Death.
Yeah.
It's on, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it Dickie going, this is a song of the first Iron Maiden album. This is the song of Running Free.
Yeah.
And that version just was like, my God. When I was young, like, was it 12 or something like that, I was like, wow, must have to get that to get the rest of the albums now. Yeah. Yeah.
So Live After Death version.
If that come on, I'd be up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a great hard rock, heavy metal song. Maybe not the most Maiden song on the album.
Yeah.
But I have plenty of favourites which are Maiden songs.
Do you know that Running Free is also the first Maiden song that they played live with 3 guitars?
You would know, you were there. No. Donington 92. Oh. Did they brought Smith back on? Did they?
Adrian came up.
Yes.
To play at the end, and it was Running Free. So it gave us a taste of what was to come.
The days of future past. The future of days past. I don't know. We're getting into Senjutsu again. Sorry,
aren't we?
It's too exciting.
But
anyway,
there we go.
So there we go. A short, sharp shock of an album. This is a short, sharp shock of a review podcast for it because we're coming in slightly less time than the actual album itself is, which is great. You know, we really, really are glad that you've took the time to listen.
Yes.
Let us know what you think. Say hello. Tell us where you're from, and tell us what your thoughts are.
Remember to like and subscribe and all that good stuff, and spread the word about the Ed Factor. And
we'll be back soon.
Yes, we will be back soon with either another album review, because next up will be Killers. Aside from if there's any major announcements in the interim,
Because it has been a slow news week, mate.
Because there's been so much going on. If there's anything mega announced, we'll obviously
we'll jump on,
do a little pod. But otherwise, we will see you for Killers. So have a good one. We've been the Ed Factor. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later.